So currently, at the time of me recording this video, the time is, let it focus. Yeah, 6:34. And the reason I'm recording so early is because I have focus. And that is the topic of today's video. How do you stay focused as a student who's doing their GCSEs, A-levels, or even in university? It doesn't matter who's watching this video. This video is about how to stay focused, but this is mainly aimed towards GCSE and A-level students who struggle with focus. And it's not something that is uncommon these days. In the modern day, with so many phones, devices, you have laptops, you have video games, you have every single thing, it is quite hard not to get distracted. And distraction is the main cause. I think procrastination is a form of distraction, and I think distraction is the reason there is a big drop off in the grades of students who had a lot of potential. So in this video, we're going to be discussing 5 different points, ways, or whatever you can call it, that will help you restore your focus and make sure from next year onwards that you get the perfect grade. Before we move on to the first point, a thing I would like to mention is that we are currently at 99 subscribers, and I would like every one of you watching this video to go down, hit the like button and subscribe. It means a lot. So yeah, without wasting more of your time, let's just begin. So the first, and I think the most important point, is keep all distractions away. A distraction like this, throw it away. Your phone, the one I just threw away, is the root of most of your problems. Let me portray a scenario. This is what happens. You sit down to study. You're studying. You might study for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And then after 20 minutes, you get a sudden urge to pick up your phone and start using it. And that is exactly how you waste hours of study time that you were meant to study in, but you just end up scrolling on TikTok or something. The reason this happens is because using your phone is something that gives you dopamine, whereas studying is completely boring. And this obviously causes you, with a limited attention span, to pick up your phone and scroll on TikTok, watch Instagram reels, do whatever you want rather than study. And then when the end of the year comes, when the exams actually start coming nearby, you start panicking because why? You did not study the whole year. No matter what anyone asks me how to restore the focus, the number one tip is always going to be make sure that you have all distractions locked away. So what I would do is when I'm sitting down to study, I would only keep the essentials. I would not keep unnecessary stuff on my desk, especially my phone. I would probably keep it in another room, give it to my parents, or just be responsible enough to keep it across the room and make sure that I do not touch it unless I finish studying. Another way you can improve your focus when it comes to this is by using study techniques. A Pomodoro is the one that usually helps a lot because you're studying for 25 minutes, you're taking a 5-minute break. The only downside I see with Pomodoro is that in those 5-minute break, if you do not have self-control, it is quite likely that that 5-minute break might extend to a 50-minute break and then onwards. So just make sure you have self-control and you are smart enough not to waste your time. Tip number 2 is something that I recently discovered myself. Making a to-do list and a calendar can help a lot because then you have a rough idea of what you want to do today and the time you want to do it at. So when you're making a to-do list, make sure you only include the essential stuff. Do not include the unnecessary stuff. For example, take a shower, brush my teeth. That is a bit of unnecessary because you're going to do that anyway. So there's no point in making your to-do list very longer than it should be. What you should be aiming to put on your to-do list is specific tasks that you want to get done today. So for example, if I want to get done with electricity and physics, I need to write finish electricity in physics. You should not be having more than 5 to-do lists per day because anything more than 5 gets a bit unnecessary and excessive, and the chances are that you're not going to be able to complete it on time anyways. And then using that to-do list that you made, make a calendar so you have a rough guide of what tasks you want to do first, and then come to other tasks as well. So let's say you're waking up at 7 a.m, you're gonna shower, do whatever you want, and then 8 a.m you start studying physics. You're done with one part of your to-do list. 10 a.m. you do chemistry. You're done with the second part of your to-do list, and onwards like that. So making a to-do list and a calendar can really help with someone who is struggling with their focus. Number 3 is developing a routine. And this is something that a lot of students do not do, especially from my experience. A lot of my friends that I had, they would not sleep. So when we were coming to school, they would pull all-nighters, or they won't sleep. They play video games. Their sleep schedule was messed up. They were getting 3-4 hours of sleep every single night. And I think a lack of sleep is such a big factor when it comes to focus. Without a good amount of sleep, I think it becomes impossible to stay focused throughout the day. Because what's going to happen is that you're going to go to school, you're going to be energized in school, but when you come back home and it's time for you to self-study, you're not going to be able to do that because you did not get enough sleep. And then you're probably going to end up taking a nap, and from that then onwards you're not going to be able to study. So the best thing is you can develop a routine. So for example, go to sleep at 10, wake up at 5. That is 7 hours of sleep, which is the amount you need. And then after that, you can start building a routine from that. Number 4 is something that we are all guilty of, and I think there's not a single soul except for the elderly and the young who have not done this. It is watching short form content. So that might be YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, or just TikTok. And we've all done that. But what we do not know is that short form content such as that kills our attention span. And when our attention span is, very, very low, I think there was a saying that humans have a lower attention span than a goldfish. The basic definition of attention span is how long you're able to stay concentrated and focused on a task. And you will notice that maybe you 3-4 years ago had a much bigger attention span that you have now. And the reason for that is primarily you watching a lot of Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, or TikTok. And mainly TikTok. What a short attention span does is that it doesn't let you do the boring tasks. So for example, if you're sitting down to study, you might be able to focus for 15 to 20 minutes, and then after that it might get so boring that you just pick up your phone, start scrolling instead. So what I would recommend is that you stop watching, or not stop watching completely, but limit. Slowly, day by day, you stop watching short form content, and what that will do is that it will slowly restore your attention span. And do boring stuff such as reading books. Reading books can help restore your attention span as well. Last but not least, point number 5 is linked to point number 4, which is stop consuming so much dopamine. In simple words, dopamine acts on areas of the brains to give you feelings of pleasure, satisfaction, and motivation. Now, dopamine is something that is really good, but it can also be something that is extremely bad for you, especially when you're consuming it in some stuff like Instagram Reels, as I said. Something that is not amazing for you that gives you a lot of dopamine, such as playing video games. Playing video games releases a lot of dopamine. Eating chocolate releases a lot of dopamine. Different stuff releases different amount of dopamine, but the bad stuff, even that releases dopamine. And it has a much higher concentration of dopamine than the boring stuff such as reading a book. So you get addicted to those stuff such as playing video games, eating chocolate, and fast food, or whatever it is. And because of that, you become addicted to it. And when you become addicted to it, it becomes impossible for you to leave it, because you won't find satisfaction in the lower amount of dopamine. So that is what I mean, is to learn to live without constant dopamine. You do not need to be watching TikTok at all times. You do not need to be eating fast food at all times. You need to focus on stuff that will help build you for the future. This is a bonus tip for those who stayed at the end, and a good way to stop this constant dopamine is to build up a hobby. Let me tell you a story. Around 5 to 6 years ago, I was searching for something in my dad's drawer, and I came across a couple of coins from the countries I've visited. I think they were UAE, Pakistan, UK, and Turkey, and a few others. And they got me very interested in currency. I'm like, every single country has their own currency, except for the euros, obviously. But then it becomes like, it is so interesting that every country has different stuff depicted on their coins, on their banknotes. So I started delving into that. I started creating a hobby, and I started enjoying looking at different banknotes. So I started, asking my friends from different nationalities if they had their own home countries' banknotes, coins, whatever it is. Eventually, fast forward 5 to 6 years later, today's day, I love to collect currencies. And if you can see, this is from, I think, Somalia, sorry. And then you have this, which is from Lesotho. And, you have different. This one is from Egypt. This one was given to me by a friend. So, and I have a wide range of collection. I think I have over 500 banknotes and over 1,000 coins now. So, this is a form of a hobby that you can build up slowly and gradually. And this does not have to be the only, you can, like I'm doing YouTube right now, this is also a hobby. Other people might like to play football, but the thing is, you should build a hobby regardless of what it is. It should be a good hobby, obviously, because video games is not a good hobby, it is a bad, because in the long run it does harm you. But stuff like this will benefit you largely in the future. The point I'm making here is that when you have a hobby, you are less likely to, for example, go onto TikTok and scroll, because you are occupied with your hobby and you do not have enough free time to, scroll. So once you start building up a hobby, it becomes very easy for you to occupy your time in doing something productive, rather than, wasting your time on YouTube, playing video games, scrolling through TikTok, whatever it is. It doesn't really matter, but you should be looking to build up a good hobby, which can be anything. There's MUNs, there's different events and exhibitions that you can attend. It is a wide range of possibilities that you can do. But you should stop trying to see constant dopamine, because that is what leads to a short attention span. But anyways, thank you for watching this video. This was made in a bit of a rush, because I have to get this video out in approximately few hours. But do let me know if you like this video. Either ways, if you have any recommendations in the comment section below, let me know. And we are almost at 100 subscribers. We were at 55 yesterday, and right now we are at 99, which is a huge jump. I cannot say how much of a big jump that is, and I'm really happy. So yeah, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching again. Goodbye.